Good afternoon, and welcome back for another edition of the Patrick Riggins Show, hosted by me, Patrick Riggins. Each and every week I am here battling back the forces of governmental control, constantly working to inform and motivate those who are taking on the mantle of saving this country from those who would wish to enslave it. Helping us in this quest is the powerful and enlightening Libertarian Lighthouse Radio Network, beaming the message of individual freedom and liberty to all of America and, for that matter, the world. We are here at our new local home station for the Patrick Riggins Show, News Talk 98.7 WOKI, sitting here in the luxuriously appointed studios on Old Kingston Pike. Not New Kingston Pike, Old Kingston Pike. A little less traffic, a little more calm. Yes. Yes, a little more peaceful. A little more peaceful over here, isn't it, Jay? Jay, the show producer. Yes, he's falling asleep in the booth. All right.
Pass the coffee.
Oh, yeah. You can see this is why you tune in to the Patrick Riggins Show. Not only is it informative and educational, it's peaceful and relaxing as well. At least until we get to the bumper music. Well, where to start today? There is so much going on. It is almost impossible to cram everything into a 1-hour show. In fact, I promise you we won't be getting to everything this week, but you can catch the stories, the other stories that we don't get to. We put them on our Facebook page, and you can see that at facebook.com/Patrick Riggins Show. Again, that's facebook.com/Patrick Riggins Show. And you don't have to have a Facebook account to go to that page. Just type it in and just ignore the, hey, you need to sign up for Facebook. Just ignore that part. We're also working on a website, and we'll have that announcement in the coming weeks. But getting back to my point, there is so much going on, so much happening, that it is hard to decide where to start and what to talk about. One thing that I want to start off with, and I've hit on it briefly before on this show, but one thing that is interesting to me is how all of a sudden everyone has gotten the old-time libertarian religion now. Oh, yeah, that good old individual responsibility religion. The liberals haven't really talked a lot about it, but the conservatives sure are jumping on the bandwagon. That's how I know we are starting to make a difference, that Americans are starting to wake up, that the voting majority of this country is slowly moving in our direction. Because if it wasn't, no one would be trying to jump out in front of it. None of these conservative talk shows will be trying to mix in some libertarianism along with their conservative government knows best preaching. That differs from liberal government knows best preaching only in degree. You see, both sides, liberals and conservatives, Republicans and Democrats, they both think government should be telling you how to live. The only gripe with one another is how much government should be doing that. The debate is never if it should, only how much. So if you've been listening, I'm sure you have heard a lot of the talk show charlatans trying to sell you on this new mixture of 90% conservatism and 10% libertarianism. If they even mix in that much libertarianism, it might be more like 5% or less. What they're trying to sell you, though, is watered down freedom. It still consists of, or still contains all the judgment, all the restrictions, all the government knows best. They just wrap it in a package of, hey, we're just like those libertarians. We don't like the Republican establishment either. We're for less government spying. Yeah, we're all over that because President Obama and his liberal buddies in Washington have been spying on us, spying on all us Americans, and we don't like it. Of course, to that I say, but Mr. Conservative, what about marriage laws, drug laws, the so-called war on terror, which is really a war on freedom and liberty? What about those issues? That's what I thought. You see, they only believe in all that individual freedom and liberty as it comports to their ideas of how you should be living your life. They don't want the NSA spying on Americans. They don't want people's phone calls being monitored. That's too personal. That's violating someone's rights. But let someone do something in the privacy of their own house. No one else can see what's going on. It isn't affecting anyone else. Then they are all over about butting into your personal business then. Yeah, what you're doing behind closed doors, now it's their business. Talk about it on the phone, though. No, that's none of the government's business. Your personal business as it relates to their agenda, though, that's government business. No problem telling you what to do there. You can't have it both ways. You can't have government sticking its nose into everyone's business in one area and then expect it to mind its own business when it comes to other areas of life. The government has no discipline. It has a crowd mentality. It acts in ways that the individuals making up the government would never act. Well, I guess that's probably an inaccurate statement. I'm sure there are some people who would gladly mind your business outside of government just as much as they do from inside government. But no one has this feeling of being held responsible for their actions. Just look at the arrogance and outright defiance displayed by these agency employees at the congressional hearings these past weeks. They are acting almost like it is our fault for asking questions, that we are inconveniencing them by asking them to answer for their actions. How dare you ask me about my job? It reminds me a little of this clip from a movie I'm sure you'll recognize.
I have neither the time nor the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the very freedom that I provide and then questions the manner in which I provide it. I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. Otherwise, I suggest you pick up a weapon and stand a post. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think you are entitled to.
Now, if you're one of the people who understand what that movie was all about, then you understand the significance of that short speech. A lot of people in this government feel exactly the same way, that they don't have to follow laws. They are above them. You, meanwhile, are expected to obey every single law, because if you don't, they're going to catch up and hold you to account, even though they don't hold themselves to that same standard. Just look at all this IRS news that has been breaking on almost a daily basis. Expensive hotel rooms, huge parties, videos being made that actually make fun of us, their bosses, the people who pay their salaries. Are you so naive as to think this starts and stops with the IRS? I hope not. Every government agency thinks this same way. This is why it is so dangerous to have Congress abrogating their responsibilities of law as lawmakers and pushing that power to government agencies unchecked by another branch of government. Oh, sure, Congress says they conduct oversight. If that's true, then why are we having all these problems? All this stuff didn't start 2 weeks ago. It's been going on for years. Where's the oversight? There is none. Just about everything coming out about these scandals is being leaked by insiders. Congress isn't uncovering it. They aren't digging in and looking around to find that corruption. You know, the truth of the matter is, Congress really doesn't want to know about corruption. Because if they are pointing the finger at these agencies, it won't be long before someone starts pointing the finger back at Congress and leaking all their dirty laundry. These congressional representatives sit in these hearings acting all indignant about when all this is their fault. They are the ones creating these agencies. They are the ones not conducting the oversight. They are the ones who allow all this overbearing, overregulating, overtaxing bureaucracies to continue to exist. They could fix all this tomorrow. They could vote to stop funding all these agencies. They could vote them all out of existence. Problem solved. But they won't. They have lots of friends and family who are employed in government. They aren't about to eliminate their jobs, put their relatives out of work, then have to face them at the family reunion? No way. Freedom and liberty are important to them, but not that important. Sorry, if it's If it's between their family sitting in a nice, lucrative government job and your freedom, sorry, you're going to lose that one. We're up on the first break here on the Patrick Riggins Show. We have even more that you'd think that one first segment could be a whole show. But we have 3 more segments to go. We're going to pack them full. Don't miss them. We're going to talk a lot about more of the scandals, more of the hypocrites in Congress, NSA, all sorts of stuff. Don't go away. We'll be back in a couple of minutes.